It's Tuesday. You know what that means.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first podcast back on schedule for SAP Wrestling Review. I am one of your hosts, 617. This man over here to my left, right, I don't know, whatever. The dude that's sitting over here is the one and only Puppet Master 2191. And we are wrestling fans, and this week we have a very special podcast for you. Rolling back to the Attitude Era with the probably one of the original badasses to grace the squared circle with the WWE. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, if you didn't gander it from the entrance music that we have with the first 45 seconds coming in, well, let me just turn the overlay on for you. And we're going to be talking about the one and only Stone Cold Steve motherfucking Austin. Genuine badass. Awesome storyline. I don't know. Words. It's hard to explain exactly the way they took this character from his humble beginnings in WCW all the way to where he is now with the most illustrious catchphrase. What?
Well, now, okay, so technically the humble beginnings was WCCW for the Von Erichs and, you know, territory days. He was down there World Class Championship. Of course, he was trained by gentleman Chris Adams, which was one of their main stables there in WCCW. But but yeah, his real appeal came when he made it to WCW, and he was stunning Steve Austin. Which ironically, there's a reason why he ended up being Steve Austin before he ever got to WCW,
Right.
which I'm pretty sure we'll touch on that anyways.
We'll touch on that. Back when the dude had long blonde of hair.
Those long, luxurious golden locks.
Goldilocks, Steve Austin. Oh man,
But
growing up, man,
that
one of my
also brings.
my favorite wrestlers
Go ahead.
growing up, watching him. Every time he kicked the ever living shit out of Vince McMahon, right there cheering. Got to see him do it live at different shows. Awesome experience. Just nice. I can't find any of my shirts. Hell, if I could, I wouldn't be able to wear them anyway.
Man, I'm waiting on my new one to come in.
Nice.
I got the Brody Lee, the exalted in heaven or whatever it is, the
Yeah.
AEW tribute shirt. I got it.
Yeah. I remember that.
So like when you mention Stone Cold Steve Austin, like where do you really begin? Um,
Attitude Era.
what? Well, okay, yeah.
Okay, I used to watch
Hey,
wrestling back in the day. Back in the day of
I
Hulk
guess
Hogan,
I
Andre the
guess
Giant.
I phrased it wrong. That was on me. What's the first thing you think of, not where do you begin?
First thing I.
Which the answer is,
What do you mean? Stone Cold. Like,
well, no. When you say Stone Cold Steve Austin, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? The Attitude Era.
exactly.
Like you responded correctly. I said the wrong damn question. That's on me.
Confused the fuck out of me.
But I mean, you really want to break it down? It actually begins before the Attitude Era. Um, and it like we kind of touched on it. It starts in WCCW with the Von Erichs and the territories, where he was known as Steve Williams, which legitimately is his name. But then he got sent over to Memphis and was working with Dutch Mantel. Well, at the time, Dr. Death Steve Williams was also there. And Dutch was like, we gotta do something. And then he goes, what about Steve Austin? So at that point in time is around the $6 billion man or $1 million man, whatever that show was.
Right.
But that main character's name was Steve Austin. Uh, and then uh he ends up
I know what you're
going
talking about.
from
The $6 million man, Steve Austin.
yeah.
We can rebuild him.
So then
We
he
have the technology.
yeah. So then he kind of goes from there and gets picked up by WCW. And literally it was within like a couple weeks of him being there that he's got the TV title.
Right.
Like that's the workhorse title for WCW at the time.
Yeah.
And he's literally not even a month into the company and he's got that title.
Right.
He's featured as part of the Dangerous Alliance. Which was, as we touched on in the Paul Heyman episode, uh that was Paulie's group in WCW, the Dangerous Alliance, Arn Anderson, Rick Rude, so many people that I can't even remember right now, but also Steve Austin. Bobby Eaton was another one. Can't forget beautiful Bobby. But it's you look, he was featured as a workhorse there. And legitimately that's what he did.
Yep.
A lot of people look at Stone Cold, think Attitude Era, the brawling, the street fight style, and like the rough shot style. When you look back in the older day or in his WCW days, he was technically he was a solid technical wrestler. He had amazing matches with Ricky Steamboat. And when you mention Steamboat, first thing that comes to mind, WrestleMania 3, him and Macho Man tore the house down.
Right.
Or Flair and Steamboat, 70s and 80s tearing the places up. To be able to get in there and have an amazing match with, arguably one of the most consecutive people in a wrestling ring, and Steamboat,
Right.
you're good. And then of course, early 90s gets let go from WCW and he ends up in a little place in Philadelphia called ECW,
Right.
where he just he got to be him. He got to be angry.
Right.
He got to vent openly. And even then, Paul Heyman wanted to make him the champion, wanted to put the title on him in ECW, and he was like, "No, think about it, Paulie. I'm this villainous, vile people that everyone wants to see the babyface get on top of.
Right.
You don't put the title on me." He said, let me do what the fans want.
Right.
And that's be the person that they want to see the babyface get.
Let me go out there and work.
Yeah.
Let me do what I do best, and let me put these people over. Whatnot.
And then that rolled into getting that phone call from Jim Ross. Hey Steve, Vince would like to talk to you. And then we bring him in, and at the time Vince just kind of saw him as one of those guys that he was going to be the talent that got other people over, but he was going to be like that upper mid card stuck spot,
Right.
Paired him with DiBiase, made him the ringmaster, which, not the best gimmick per se.
Right.
But it's at the time it wasn't the worst. I mean, you had Duke the Dumpster. You had Bastion Booger. You had the Goon. God, you had the Goon. So I mean, while it's the best gimmick, probably not the best, but it's not the worst.
Right. Exactly.
And then roll around to 97 for King of the Ring.
97 or was it 96?
Yeah, no, I think it's 97 King of the Ring. Hold on. Six is doing his part of the show where he's fact checking me.
Wait, are you?
Also,
Oh, okay.
FYI.
You're talking when he won the King of the Ring.
Yeah.
So you're
Because
okay,
that's when Stone Cold was born.
96.
So we roll through his time there. Well, it was 96.
96. June 23rd, 1996, when he debuted the iconic
Okay.
speech.
So, and that's the infamous King of the Ring that was supposed to be Hunter.
Right.
But unfortunately, Hunter kind of got in a little trouble.
Hunter was being punished
For-
backstage.
Well, yeah, Hunter was being punished because they couldn't punish the champion at the time, which was Shawn, for the curtain call in Madison Square Garden. So someone didn't enjoy it, and it was going to be Hunter because he was the low man on the totem pole.
Right.
But you've got the finals. It's Jake Roberts. It's Austin. Austin has that busted lip.
Jake Roberts is trying to win, the last King of the Ring that he's probably going to be in.
Right. So Austin wins it, gets to the podium, and he cuts that promo, when you want to go, you want to thump on your Bible, talking Psalms, talking your John 3:16, while Austin 3:16 says, "I just whooped your ass."
Iconic speech.
Hello.
Man. That's about where I picked up.
Well, welcome to the birth of what is now Stone Cold Steve Austin. Right. He's now shot himself into orbit. People don't want to like him, but they kind of do like him.
Right. He starts out as a heel.
And he starts that feud. At that point, he starts that feud with Bret.
Yep.
And Bret's that guy that everyone's always loved. He's done the right thing. He's been the babyface the whole time. What do you do? He wants to change. Austin's obviously the fans are eating up the whole Stone Cold thing, even though they're not supposed to, and he's trying to make people want to boo him, but they actually like him.
He just got
which leads into
persona that everybody wants to see,
Which and that kind of leads into WrestleMania 13, Chicago. Bret cuts that promo a few weeks beforehand saying, I'm going to expose Austin for what he is, and I'm going to make him tap out in the middle of the ring. I'm going to make him say, I'm going to submit him in the middle of the ring.
Yep.
And Austin comes back with that promo. There ain't a man alive that can make me say the words "I quit."
Right.
And then we shoot into 13. That match, by far, an iconic match. That image of Austin and the sharpshooter pushing up, blood all over his face, dripping off his mouth, passes out. Match gets called by Shamrock. Shamrock calls the match off because Austin passes out on the sharpshooter.
Yep.
Bret continues the attack. The mass. So this is going to be mainly like the first major WrestleMania moment for Austin. That match, him and Bret, that is a masterclass.
Yeah.
If you've not watched it, WrestleMania 13, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin submission match. Watch it. Both men come in. Bret to a mixed reaction, Austin to a mixed reaction. So the main point of this match is to make Bret Hart a bad guy and Stone Cold a good guy at the same time, which is known as a double turn. Hey, look at there, using the names for what these things are called. Uh-oh. Anyways, it's called a double turn. It's probably one of the hardest things to do in professional wrestling.
Right.
Because
the funny thing about that match and everything is Austin was true to his word. He never said I quit. He never tapped out. He never officially gave up. The match was called because he passed out in the middle.
So, and here's the other thing. Like, I will say, there's two matches to me that are probably two of the best WrestleMania matches that will withstand time.
Yep.
Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Iron Man match, WrestleMania 12. Yeah, I think 12. Hollywood. And then the very next year, Bret Hart, Stone Cold.
Right.
There's one person that, or there's one thing, i.e., person that is synonymous to both matches, and that's Bret Hart. Bret Hart, and I do want to do a Bret Hart.
Podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want a Hart podcast so bad. But Bret Hart will forever be one of the best to put on wrestling boots and step in the ring. Could do his job. He could get himself over. He could get the other person over.
Right.
The Shawn
He can
Michaels,
spell 3 letters in the air backwards.
yeah,
He can
like
spit
Shawn,
on he can spit on the owner of the company.
like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart is to this day one of the best Iron Man matches I've watched and can watch, will watch, enjoy watching. The story that's told without even saying words, the story that's told. Then the sudden overtime. And then followed by Bret Hart, Stone Cold, dude. Bret Hart can partner with just about anyone and make a match.
Yeah. Hell, he even had feuds with his own brother and put his brother over.
His matches with Owen, amazing. His match with Bulldog, SummerSlam at Wembley Stadium, amazing.
Right.
His IC match with Rowdy Piper, his cousin through marriage,
Right.
amazing. The matches that he did with Mr. Perfect, those two were a match made in heaven. This is why I say we will do a Bret Hart podcast, because it's just phenomenal.
And it won't just cover, WWE Bret Hart. It's going to go all the way back.
Yeah. The Calgary and all that.
Right.
The dungeon.
Humble beginnings in Stu Hart's dungeon.
Getting stretched, watching grown men get stretched and cry as a kid.
Right.
I can only imagine how that felt.
Right.
But also not just that. We're here. It's 3/16
Stone Cold Day
of 20. Yeah, it's 3/16/21. It's Stone Cold Day. In lieu of me cracking open a Steve Weiser, I've cracked open a Stone drink. That's what we're going to call it today.
I've cracked open a Stone Cold Rogue. I still want to try beer.
Yeah, I definitely want to try one of his IPAs.
Every time I go on that damn site to try and order it, the shit's fucking sold out.
Yeah.
And I know damn well he's the one that's ordering it all. He's generating his own fucking revenue.
That shit sells like crazy, dude. Apparently it's really good. But no,
hold on.
You stop you.
Let's get a little bit off track here real quick. Speaking of Austin and alcohol, did you see the Stone Cold podcast with The Undertaker when he tried the wine, Undertaker's wine?
Yeah, we watched it, remember?
That shit was funny as hell, but he's like, I'm not much of a wine drinker, but I can see myself knocking back a bottle or two of this.
I can knock back a bottle or But no, it's 3/16 day. Who better to cover on 3/16 than the man who
Exactly.
It's about.
Exactly.
Well, okay, it's 3/16 day for wrestling fans.
Right. For everybody else, it's just March 16th.
Um, but you've got all of the different times. Sorry. So you've got like all of the times and all of the matches that have been amazing for with Austin.
Right.
Um, not just WrestleMania. That's why we kind of we're deviating from our Mania week for Stone Cold Day to where it is just covering Stone Cold Steve Austin, which we're going to hit his Mania moments. We've already hit one.
Right.
We've got 3 more to hit.
Such a popular guy, he did not have that many due to injury and whatnot.
Due to injury or due to getting mad at potential booking ideas that didn't make sense
Exactly.
and going home.
Yeah, and you can't blame
Which,
him for that.
right, and that's what I was fixing to say, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's not that he didn't want to lose to Brock Lesnar. It was, you're going to put me in the ring with Brock Lesnar on the Monday Night Raw for a qualifier of King of the Ring when you can make so much more money off this match. This is stupid.
Exactly.
It wasn't that he didn't want to lose. That's not the issue. It was, you can make more money with this, book it right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just going to get back in the car and go back to Texas.
Right. Call me when you have something real.
And we'll get to that. That's a little bit later on in the career.
Right.
But you know, you do the double turn. You do it successfully. Everyone loves Austin. He is now the white meat baby face.
Right.
You can't do wrong. He like the Attitude Era, one of the foundations of the Attitude Era was probably the most successful person during the Attitude Era. And there's some people who say that Stone Cold is probably a more synonymous name to wrestling now than Hulk Hogan. I don't know that I would go that far there.
I don't think I
Like,
would.
he's definitely up there.
Because a lot of people know Hulk Hogan, even to this day. The youngsters still know Hulk Hogan.
Exactly.
But a lot of them don't know
And
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And that's why I say I don't know that you can say that he's probably a bigger name in professional wrestling than that. If anyone, I'd say The Rock.
Yeah.
I could see The Rock being a bigger name than Hogan.
Right. Everybody
Again,
knows The Rock because of either his wrestling career or his movie career. That's where most
correct.
people will know him from. They'll know him from the Fast and Furious franchise. They'll know him from all the movies he did. Hell, if they're a true fan, I mean, they'll go back to like some of his earlier classics when he just had a brief cameo in, what was it, the Mummy Returns. He was on screen for like maybe
No, he
a minute or two.
He was a full character in the Mummy when he was the Scorpion King. But there was it wasn't as big of a role.
Well, when he was in the Scorpion King, that was a full movie based with him as.
Well, no. Yeah, he was one of the main catalysts in I think the Mummy 2 or the Mummy 3.
He played the Scorpion King.
And then the character was big enough to where they did a prequel of just him. Yeah.
Right, of just him as the Scorpion King. But in the Mummy 2, I think maybe he had a whole 5 minutes in that movie.
No, he was in it a good 30, 45 minutes.
I don't think he was, because I know he had a cameo at the beginning, and then he had a cameo at the end when he came out looking like this big ass half human, half scorpion, and that was it.
Yeah, no, he was featured in it a lot more. It's just
my wife has a movie.
There
I'm
was.
gonna go watch it and see.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I know he was featured in it more than 5-10. It's closer to 30 for sure. But it was still. You are right. It was a small role for that big movie. And Flaherty took over. Hollywood, hey. But
Ooh, Hollywood.
there again, you know, you've got Austin, who is one cornerstone of the Attitude Era, and you have this young second generation superstar coming in, who's another shot of another cornerstone of the Attitude Era in The Rock. They're direct opposites of each other. They're coming up at the same time with the same trajectory.
Right.
What's going to happen? You've got Austin with the IC title. He's on to, as he throws that title in the piss river,
Right.
and says, "I ain't worried about this little goal. I want the bigger goal."
Right.
The Rock's getting the IC title from him.
Right.
Like their paths are crossing. Or, well, at that point, I don't think they really crossed. It was more like we'll bump off each other, and then we'll find our way back here. You have Austin, who chunks the IC title in the river. Austin's going to feud with Michaels. He's going to take that title. Rock's going to take the IC title. Well, the Rock's tired of the IC title. Austin's still got big gold. Rock wants big gold. What's going to happen? We get to what? WrestleMania 15 was the first encounter of them?
Yeah. Do you believe
Yeah.
so?
Yeah, 14 was Austin, and then 15 was Austin Rock, I do believe. And then 19? Pretty sure it was 19. I know 15, 7. I think it's 19. I think it was every other year. Check me on that one. Let's see if Puppet goes 0 for 2 tonight. Because I think 19 was his last WrestleMania match. Official match.
It's not what Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania.
I think he only won 2 of those.
He was in 7 total Manias.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 12. Steve Austin versus Savio Vega. WrestleMania 13.
13 was Hart.
Yep.
14 was Michaels.
14 was Michaels for the championship.
15 was Rock.
15 was Rock.
16, I'm not sure.
He didn't. It was 17.
17 was Rock.
17 against The Rock again.
18 was Hall.
18 was Scott Hall. NWO Scott Hall.
Yeah. 19 was Rock.
19 was Rock. And he lost to The Rock in 19. So he's 2-1 against The Rock at Mania.
I'm just going to shoot this out there. 6. I feel like we need to make a spot on the overlay for a puppet correct. Like a towel mark of,
counter.
Yeah, the puppet count, the puppet knowledge check.
Right.
I like that puppet. So right now I'm 1-1. I was right on the WrestleMania order. I was wrong on the here. Look over and I'll see that you're doing the fat. I'm right or not.
Puppet knowledge check.
It's amazing how much useless wrestling knowledge I have. But I've watched it my entire life, guys. Legit. Almost my entire life.
We're gonna put that right below. There we go. Add on the fly. Puppet knowledge check. 1 for 1.
Look at that. That's how a pro podcast does it right there, guys. On the fly. We're calling it in a ring. We're calling it in the ring. Like, do I need to expect this?
No, my wife's sending me messages.
Yeah, it's funny to get a text message from your co-host that says new phone. Who dis?
Right?
After I send him the new number, like, hey, new number, and then first text message I get from him, new phone. Who dis?
That's what kind of smart assness you can deal with from me now. And random shit
Yeah.
like Taylor Soft.
Oh, you know what? Let's backtrack a little bit. Let's go back to WCW.
I'm trying to. Right now, like we're gonna keep talking, but I'm trying to fact check you on The Rock. In The Mummy Returns.
I'm telling. Listen, that we're not going to count that on fact check because that's movie knowledge. That's not wrestling knowledge.
No, it's going on the fact check.
That's not.
It's
No,
going
that's
on the
movie
fact check,
knowledge.
because if I'm fact checking it, it's going on the fact check. Because I don't
Alright,
remember
fine.
him being in the movie for 45 minutes.
I said at least 30.
I don't even think it was that long.
I'm
Because I
pretty
remember
sure it was 30.
he had a brief stint at the beginning when they were explaining the whole Scorpion King and how he became the Scorpion King. And then it went straight to the O'Connells and the Mummy coming back and all that bullshit. And the entire movie was that. And then you get to the very end when Imhotep resurrects the Scorpion King from the grave. And then you've got this poor CGI of The Rock and a scorpion body.
Listen, I'm fixing to Tim the Tap Menu. Listen, chat. While you do the fact check, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the shameless plug.
Hit that shameless plug.
Rogue Energy Puppet code Puppet Master at checkout. Get you 10% off. Really good. No calories, no carbs, no sugar. It fits in just about any diet you have. And it's really good. There's no hard crash. Oh shit. Hold on. I got a fix. Okay.
You gotta fix your mic placement because it's covering up your plug.
Yeah, it covers up the shameless plug.
Grape popsicle is awesome. Strawberry kiwi is awesome. Mango guava is awesome. Cookies and cream is awesome, and the cookies and cream is made with milk, not water. Which makes
and
it
you know what?
better
While
because
we're
it
at
makes
it,
they call it a shake, but I mean technically you put it in one of these and you shake it, so everything's a shake. I know, stupid joke.
So, okay. Here's my question. We were talking about this, I think, yesterday, last night, this morning, whatever. Are you still with
Race?
Rep? Yeah, Race, Rep Sports, whatever.
Yeah, I technically am, but I don't rep them anymore, so.
Well, until you convert over, do you want to shamelessly plug yours? Since I did buy a case.
Nah, you bought it from Amazon.
Yeah, but still, I bought it because I knew. Well, you and another friend of ours is Rep Sports.
Yeah, he can plug it all he wants. I'm good with Rogue. Buy Rogue. Use code Puppet Master.
You know what? I will take that. Okay,
It's better.
I'm not going.
It's
I'm not
better.
going to fight you. I'm not fighting you on that one, chat.
Here's the deal.
6.
Rogue is better and cheaper, and you get more servings out of it.
This is true. One tub is 30 servings.
30 servings, $30. You're gonna pay you're gonna pay $31 for a 6-pack of Rays. Nah, go Rogue.
Unless you get it off Amazon.
Yeah, and if you get Prime.
Yes, and if you got Prime. And also you got to set it up to schedule a delivery every so often to get the cheaper price. But it's okay. $26 for a case. That's not bad.
Right.
A case is 24, guys. 24. Just in case you're wondering. 24 cans.
24 cans. But if you go Rogue, then you support my man over here. And you help us continue to bring these awesome podcasts where we get off topic 50, 60, 70 times a podcast, but we don't care.
Or we tell stories of childhood that involves wrestling.
Being 6 months old and sitting straight up like The Undertaker when you see wrestling.
Yeah. Look, I've got a good one for you for next week. I have a Macho Man story.
Nice.
I was 4. Let me tell you, 4 years old, you think you're indestructible. And the back of a couch, when you're about 3 feet tall, feels like the top rope, but floors are not as forgiving as rings.
No.
And a diving elbow is not the best move to do off the back of a couch.
Me and my cousins were wrestling in their living room. We pulled all the cushions off the couch. We pulled all the pillows out of the rooms and put them on the living room floor. Hardwood floor. Hardwood. My cousin pissed me off, so I powerbombed him. He woke up 20 minutes later.
Dude, I was 4 and did not think to take all the cushions and pillows and pile them in the floor. I elbow dropped the floor, and it was an apartment duplex.
I'm pretty sure I gave my cousin a concussion, but I didn't give a fuck. As soon as he hit the ground, he stopped moving. I put one foot on him, and my other cousin, his brother, counted the pin.
I almost broke an elbow and a hip all in one move. At 4, Puppet did not give 2 shits at 4 years old. A door could be closed and I'd try to run through it. Sorry. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Okay, so now that we've got have you got the fact check done, or did we get sidetracked again?
You did your shameless plug, and I'm still looking. There is a website out there that depicts how long The Rock was on screen. Because you know somebody kept up with that.
Well, let me know when you find it. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to the WCW days because there is something that we just kind of skipped altogether that I do not want to skip.
I could probably pull the movie up on iTunes right now and watch it while we're doing the podcast. Count that shit.
True, but let's not do that.
The movie was 2 hours and 10 minutes long.
I'm telling you, he was in at least 30 of it. I guarantee 30.
Fact check coming up.
Okay, well, while he's fact checking, let's go back to WCW. One of the greatest tag teams of all times, Stone Cold Steve Austin, or at that time, Stunning Steve Austin, and Brian Pillman, the Hollywood Blondes. They literally got their legs taken out from under them because they were more popular as a tag team than most of the single stars at the time.
Okay, here you go. All right. Sidetrack. I gotta read this out because this is funny.
How long?
Not very long. The opening of The Mummy Returns, which a title says takes place in Thebes in 3067 BC, as if that matters, is like the opening of a video game, the part you scroll past to get to the action. The Rock, as the Scorpion King, makes one of his brief appearances, and when he pleads to Anubis to help, with his arms flexed as if he's challenging Stone Cold Steve Austin to a Texas death match on pay-per-view. At the beginning of the movie.
Hey,
The only
man,
question,
I feel like they would have had a good Texas death match. Continue.
Next paragraph. The only question The Mummy Returns presents that you may want answered is, what agent got The Rock $5 million for 10 minutes of screen time? I want that guy's phone number. He had 10 minutes of screen time and got paid $5 million.
That's kind of like the story that Steve Harvey tells about Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
About he's on the Steve Harvey show, and this was after he got like the Oscar or whatever they get for movies,
Yeah.
for The Green Mile.
Yeah.
And Steve asks him what's your next thing, and he tells him, "Well, I'm gonna be in the remake of a classic called Planet of the Apes."
Oh yeah.
And Steve asks him, "What are you going to be doing?" He goes, "I'm going to be playing the monkey, one of the monkeys."
Right.
And the
What
people
the
are
hell?
the people are calling Steve Harvey in. Like, Steve, you need to tell this man he can't play a monkey in this movie. He's going to set us back. This, that, and the other.
Right. Well, how much you getting for that?
And then he asked him how much you getting paid for that, and he goes, "Well, normally, dog, I don't share this, but because it's you, I will." And he tells him it was $8 million to be a monkey in a movie, and
Right.
Steve goes, "For 4, I'll be the best damn monkey you've ever seen."
I remember that bit too. But yeah,
I mean,
knowledge check updated. Puppet 1 for 2.
I still feel like movies should not count into the wrestling fact check.
It contains The Rock.
Put
He's
an
a
asterisk.
wrestler. He's a wrestler.
There should be an asterisk next to that too, as puppet disputes.
He's a wrestler.
But the movie is not wrestling related.
At the beginning, he's challenging Stone Cold to a damn Texas death
He is-
match.
He is not. He is not. You are not passing that one off as his challenge.
Oh, where the fuck were we
Now-
before we got sidetracked again?
I covered the Hollywood Blondes. That was to me, that's one of the biggest things. I was a huge fan of the Hollywood Blondes,
Yeah.
and I looked at 31, our mutual friend.
Right. Sleep
And
on the couch
had
right
made-
now, probably.
No, he's playing zombies right now.
Why is he not in the
Like-
podcast with us?
He's got to get ready for tomorrow. Yeah, since he's never gonna fight. He actually helped me prep for the podcast today.
Nice.
While we were on the road driving, he would rock any kind of wrestling history that he could. So while I was catnapping, I was subconsciously listening to wrestling facts all day. But no, I looked at him and I told him, I said, I'm just going to be honest about this. If me and him compare ourselves to the Hollywood Blondes, he would have to take the Stone Cold role. I'm clearly Brian Pillman in the group. I'm just crazy. It is what it is. I accept it. Do I want to be Stone Cold? Yes. But I'm clearly Brian.
Everybody wants to be Stone Cold, man.
It is what it is. That got the Casey reacting by grabbing a can of. Never mind.
If he grabs
Are
two and
you-
slams them together and chugs them, then you know he's ready.
No, just hold on. Bring that bottle here. Let me show you.
Is he drinking a
Let me
bottle of
show
Merlot?
you. Huh?
Is he drinking a bottle of Merlot?
No. This is what I look over and he
Can't see
is
it.
drinking.
Move it over, can't see it. Fireball, God.
Look at the size of this bottle, though.
Cinnamon whiskey.
Like he's just turning this motherfucker back.
He's
Speaking
getting
of
ready for
which,
tomorrow by getting drunk tonight.
Oh, hey, do me a favor. Bring me my bottle. It's right
Yeah.
now. Let me show you why I feel like I should technically. Okay. Out of the two of us, I'm the modern day Stone Cold. He's classic Stone Cold.
Right. Jack Daniels.
Boy, I'm drinking Jameson and freaking Jack and all that stuff too.
AD.
Yeah. Me and Jim don't get along. We fight too much. Me and Jack, we party good together. But no, back into current times, or well, not current times, but back into entering into WrestleMania 15 with The Rock. After having a really good feud with Michaels leading to the championship. We then lead into where the two mega powers of the Attitude Era smash together. Austin wins first one. Austin wins second one with the heel turn that he now to this day says that's probably the only regret he has in wrestling. Mainly because it honestly, the turn, which we'll get to that and we'll cover it a little bit shortly. We won't really just going to go ahead and say that is the one thing that Austin says is a regret that he has. But it's that first encounter of Austin Rock. And they had one. Not 15, 17. I think 17 was probably hands down one of the best WrestleManias.
Yeah.
From bell to bell, from beginning to end. I think 17 completely stole the show from beginning to end of all-time WrestleManias. 15 is the first encounter where we as wrestling fans get that first taste of Austin Rock standing across from each other. Which would then lead on to a second one, and then a third one that everyone that led to a third match, which was a match everyone wanted but didn't know they wanted.
Right. All right. We are back.
Okay, so
WrestleMania 15, Stone Cold versus The Rock, right around the height of the corporation starting up again.
yeah, this was actually when the corporation started.
Right. It partially started back in December, January, with McMahon getting tired of the foul mouth, beer drinking redneck that he had in the WWF. Not really wanting him to be champion, puts him in the Rumble, starts him at number 1, thinking he's not going to go the whole way. Well,
there's no way he's going to make it from number 1 all the way to the end and have to face The Rock at Mania.
Right. Well, joke's on you, Vince, because the way you booked it in the back, he did.
Yeah. This was, and kind of like you pointed out earlier before we ever started recording, is this is you get that synonymous or that iconic Austin sitting in the corner,
sitting up on the turnbuckle after he just eliminated his 3rd, 4th, or 5th guy or whatever,
looking at his wrist tape, tapping his watch.
Not to mention, after he eliminates, like, what was it, number 2 or number 3 or something, he just drops down and starts doing push-ups right in the middle of the ring. Just fuck it. Let's do some push-ups. We're bored. Good old Stone Cold moments.
But I mean, also, this is also, like I said, encounter 1
right,
for Austin Rock. It's going to be Rock's second WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
Did I say Rock or it's going to be Austin's second WrestleMania main event.
Right.
Because he had the previous year with Michaels, with the whole Tyson interjection.
Exactly, the whole Tyson feud, the Mike Tyson as the special enforcer on the outside of the ring and coming out wearing the DX shirt, and everyone thinks Tyson's with Michaels, but at the end
he's got that Austin shirt under it, yeah, and that fucking hook heard around the world to put
Michaels on his ass.
That would put Michaels lights out. Hell,
now, did he really connect with that, or
yeah, that snap that Michaels had, that snap back off that fist, that was real.
I bet Michaels loved that shit.
It was Michaels' idea.
Oh, damn.
It was Sean's idea
to actually take a punch from Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he was like, "Look, he's not trained. He's trained to throw this thing.
Right.
He ain't trained to pull.
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna eat this shot."
I think Michaels had second thoughts on that because it almost looked like he tried to pull back a little bit, but Tyson was too quick, so he ended up eating it.
Oh yeah,
because you can see
he knew he knew going in he was going to eat it.
you think at the beginning of the match he looked at Austin and says, "Hey man, I'm not ready to take that punch, dude. Let's make this thing go as long as."
Yeah, let's kind of draw this one out that way I can get a little bit numb before that shot comes.
The ref calls up, like, "All right, guys, we're getting to go home from the back," and then Michael's like, "Oh God,
all right, 15 more minutes.
We gotta go 15 more minutes."
Yeah, another 15. Keep going, Austin. We got this.
Meanwhile, Tyson's in the back, like, "Can I punch him now? Can I punch him?"
Tyson's on the outside, like, "When you gonna tell me to come in and punch it? When you gonna let me punch it? I'm gonna knock you out."
It's been a few weeks since I punched somebody. When you gonna let me punch him?
But yeah, no, this is legitimately, this is the pinnacle of the Attitude Era.
Right.
Like, this is when WWE was making the most money. When you had Austin as the champion, or Austin going for the title, the whole Austin McMahon angle, like all of that.
The whole Austin winning the Rumble and then still having 2 to 3 months until Mania, and every single week with McMahon fucking with him. And McMahon getting his ass kicked at the same time. Beer truck, and like Zamboni, a fucking monster truck that damn near killed Austin.
This is leading, like, the lead in from the Rumble to Mania is when Austin kidnaps McMahon and causes him to piss his pants on national television.
With a gun
there's the beer, the Coors truck beer bath. There's the concrete into the Corvette.
His prize Corvette gets concreted. I remember that. The monster truck driving over one of their cars or something, dropping the fucking beam on the DX bus.
Like, that's like, that is again, like, this is heyday Attitude Era.
Right.
Like, you don't get better than this.
Right. And the best thing about the whole Steve Austin gimmick against McMahon is they were given what your everyday blue collar worker wants to do, you know. Yeah, you go to work, you do your job and everything, but you can't tell me that the guys back then didn't dream of just laying their boss out or backing the cement truck up to their boss's favorite car and fucking loading it full of cement. They were giving the people what they wanted to see.
Yeah. And honestly, that's one of the things that made Austin on another level. Like, you could relate to him no matter what path of life you were in, because everyone wants that chance to just shut their boss up one time.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'll be honest. You tell me I'm gonna get to drop I can take my boss and drop him and get paid for it. Hell yes.
Right.
let me rock him one good time. I'm gonna knock his lights out.
Right.
He's gonna come to, and it's gonna be Christmas. It ain't even Easter.
Right. Bet you won't do that again now, will you?
That's all I'm saying. Give me that chance. I'll knock his lights out. He won't know what hit him.
Everybody wanted to do it.
But I mean, okay, there again. How can you not like that? Like that was good. Okay, yes, it was Attitude Era. There was a lot more stuff going on that can't be done nowadays, and I understand that. But that was good TV,
Right.
which we've touched base on that.
Right.
Closest thing you're going to get to Attitude Era now is going to be AEW, which is amazing, by the way, guys. If you don't know,
Right. I mean,
give them a watch.
it put butts in the seat. Ratings were through the roof. It's what they needed to compete with WCW at the time. It sold merchandise. It was that time, like, it didn't matter if you were walking through the mall and you were wearing a Stone Cold shirt. Chances are you were going to see somebody else wearing a fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt, or somebody wearing a DX shirt. It sold merchandise. It gave a lot of people a reason to watch TV on Monday night when there was like really nothing else good on. It gave them a reason to tune in to the USA Network or whatever it was back then and watch TV. Even if it was
Right.
only 2 hours long, you knew some shit was going to go down and you wanted to see it. And it was the talk when I was in high school. It was the talk of the next day at school. Did you see Austin flood McMahon's car with concrete? Fuck yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. Like that's something that like at this point in time, that is something you if you wasn't a wrestling fan, you kind of watched wrestling just so you would know what was being talked about. Like it was okay to be a wrestling fan.
Right. And being in an actual stadium, an arena for a match, like being at an actual WWE event and seeing the way the crowd reacts when Austin's music hits, it just goes batshit crazy.
Yes. Like again, to me, it doesn't get better. There's no better TV.
Right. Exactly. Good ratings. Like I said, it put butts in the seat. Sold merchandise.
Yes.
Ratings were through the roof. It was amazing. It was an amazing time to be a wrestling fan. All right, let's see. Lead up 15, Rock versus Austin. The start of the corporation.
Yeah. So he beats Rock at Mania. And essentially this is okay, so the feud with McMahon really starts around the time he ends up getting the title at WrestleMania 14.
Yeah.
And then it gets awarded to The Rock, which then we lead into all of the stuff leading into 15. After that, the feud with McMahon continues. And I think prior to 15 was the infamous St. Valentine's Day massacre. the cage match with Vince, and Big
Right.
Show comes through the ring and causes him to win.
When Paul White shows up.
Yeah.
Right. Grabs Austin,
Um,
yeets him into the cage snaps open, Austin drops down for the win.
But also, let's not forget this 15 championship run
Yep.
also brought us probably one of the most iconic world championship titles ever, and that's that Smoking Skull Heavyweight Championship that is beautiful.
Right.
I'm just saying that title was a nice title.
The one that you can get on WWEshop.com for $900 right now. Still, price hasn't come down at all.
Oh yeah, that price won't ever come down.
You can get a cheap knockoff version off of Amazon for like $20, but it's gonna be like a kid's belt that'll fit a child and it'll be made of vinyl.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I've thought about trying to find like a rep of it that's not through the WWE that's a little bit cheaper,
Yeah,
but still is leather and metal.
right. I'm sure you could. You just gotta look around.
Yeah, I just haven't looked.
I mean, you can always try Wish.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
Get the Wish.com version.
But I will also openly say I really, really, really want a replica of the AEW Championship. I think that for modern day titles is probably one of the best looking titles I've seen in modern time.
AEW. Let's see. 15. Stone Cold wins. That's his second World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, first one was against Michaels. Second one was against The Rock. And we fast forward to 17 when he squares off against The Rock again at Mania. Let's pull up some notes on that. Look at that. I was telling Puppet Chat beforehand, I had notes lined up on all of this, and for some reason, let's see. Ah, they headlined it. Main event. No disqualification match.
Mhm.
But you found it, didn't you? $319 on Amazon for the Smoking Skull. Not bad.
Yeah. But now I will also go on to say the one that I'm sending you now is still by far one of my favorite WWE titles.
Yeah. You can get the
And,
AEW one on there. Yeah, the like one of the original ones. Yeah.
That winged eagle. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Right. $303. It's not bad.
Yeah.
You can get
it ain't
a
bad at all.
AEW replica championship for $320.
Oh shit! They even have Warriors yellow IC title on here.
Yeah. AEW TNT. The belt that I always wanted is the old.
Just for the record, guys, this is how we get sidetracked.
We start talking about random stuff. It's all part of the podcast.
Like I've found Warriors baby blue world his winged eagle championship.
The old. I don't know if it was the WC. I think it was the WCW Heavyweight Championship belt. That
Are you
massive
talking about
one, that real big one?
Oh, big gold.
Yeah, the one that WWE ran with once they acquired WCW and brought them in for a while when they had two championships. They had the WWE one, and they had the WCW championship belt.
Like I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, you're talking about the big gold.
That one.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. The one that Flair showed up in '92 with,
Right. The one
and
Goldberg
WCW
held.
had to, yeah,
The one
and
that
WCW had to make a different one.
yeah, the one that Hogan had that was big enough that he could spray paint NWO on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one. I wonder.
like like I said, I'll be.
They actually have it on Amazon. The NWO, the World Heavyweight Championship, World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship belt with NWO already spray painted on it.
Yeah.
$319. Oh God, I bet they have it. I bet they have it. John Cena spinner belt. Yep.
Oh my God.
Wait, is there? Please tell me somebody has a video of this. I want to know if it actually spins. What I find funny is the people that go to these events that have these actual replica belts.
Do you know I just found the replica title that I will end up buying?
What?
I'm sending it to you right now.
IWGP? Yeah.
Yep, New Japan's heavyweight title.
$186 too.
Mm-hmm.
You get that son bitch, you make sure you wear that shit or just drape it over your shoulder when you're doing the podcast.
Oh wait, no, this is the okay, this is the remodeled one, the one that they just debuted. From where they merged the yeah, this is the one from where they merged the titles together.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the AEW one. I'm sorry, that AEW title looks beautiful. This is in all honesty, this is another one that I would have hanging on my wall just for simple fact of history.
Nice. National Wrestling Alliance.
That NWA title. The fact that Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, all of those guys carried that title, that title would hang on the wall just on legacy alone.
Right. All right. WrestleMania 17. Stone Cold versus The Rock. With a surprise stipulation added before they were introduced as a no disqualification.
Mm-hmm.
Had both men brawling inside and outside the ring. If I remember, I think at one point they both used the damn ring bell on each other and bloodied both of themselves up.
I don't remember Rock bleeding in this one.
Can you remember The Rock attempted?
I mean, he may have.
Yeah, both men bleeding after hitting each
Okay.
other with the ring bell. Well, this is where they had a lot of back and forths where.
Okay. So 15 was the big XV entrance. That was the one where where Austin ended up Irish whipping Rocky into the big 15.
Right.
And I think 17 he may have used the camera, or it may have been 15 he used the camera, the boom swing.
See.
But one of them he used the boom, the sweeping boom camera and hit him with it. And then they had the no DQ one, which was amazing. Which this was the one where the end saw Austin turn the heel turn.
Right. Yeah, the heel turn in Houston, Texas, at the
Yeah.
Astrodome, in front of 67,000 people. Yeah, because I remember this one because there was a lot of reversals, and there was a lot of each person doing the other man's signature move. Rock tried to put Austin in a sharpshooter. Austin countered, reversed it with a sharpshooter of his own. And then I think this is the first time in a long time that we saw the $1 Million Dream submission that Steve brought back and used on The Rock at one point. And then Rock hit Austin with a stunner and got a near fall, and Austin hit a rock bottom on The Rock and got a near fall. And this is
Rock
where,
went
halfway,
went to use the stunner a second time, and he spun him around and then went to rock bottom and got a near fall, and then then the Rock hit a rock bottom, got a near fall. Austin hit the stunner and got a near. This had the most false finishes I've seen in a match in a long time.
Right. And then about halfway through the match is when Vince came down to observe everything, and Rock went to go hit the people's elbow, and McMahon seized his leg and pulled him off, breaking the pin attempt. Yeah, the Rock bottom.
Yes.
Yeah. Rock attacks McMahon, gets a stunner by Austin for another near fall. And then Vince hands Austin a chair and he clocks Rock with it. Hit him with a steel chair. Hit it 16 times with a steel chair before pinning him.
Yeah.
16 times. Kind of reminds me of the Uso and Reigns. When Uso was beating the shit out of him with a chair.
I'm gonna tell you right now. The one that still to this day makes me cringe is that a Rock Mankind Royal Rumble with those 11 chair shots.
Yeah.
That I Quit match they had. Oh my god.
We gotta talk about 18. The biggest moment of 18.
Scott Hall going into orbit.
Scott Hall going into fucking orbit after a stunner.
Guys, you want to see some good gifts? Just type in or go to Google and type in Scott Hall takes a stunner.
Right.
Oh my god.
He come down looking like a dead horse on his back.
That man.
Like, Jesus, man.
That man came down arms and legs
straight
towards the sky. Like he done been hit with an 18-wheeler and died.
Right.
Rigor mortis set in before he hit the ground.
Funny shit, man.
So we got 18. Scott Hall goes into orbit from the stunner.
Yep.
You know what? Since we're talking about that oversell, we're gonna go from one oversell to one horrendous sell. Can we talk about the first time McMahon took the stunner? Looking like a goddamn dried bag of cement hitting the ground.
It just crumbled.
Convulsing. He sold the move like after the stunner. He sold it like he was dying and having a seizure at the same time. But taking it, he looked like the worst sack of fucking lumpy potatoes you've ever seen.
Right. It took him a few times to get it right.
By a few, it took him about 4 weeks worth of stunners before he actually got it right. But man, McMahon made that stunner look good.
Right.
But now,
McMahon
I think the person
stunner
who sold the stunner the best is obviously The Rock.
Yeah.
I've not. Well, okay.
Since we're talking about
Scott Hall selling that stunner like it killed him was pretty good.
And I mean, we're talking about oversells and everything. Yeah, The Rock sold it really well. But let's talk JR. Remember when JR took the stunner and looked like he was having a fucking seizure on the ground?
I'm still thinking McMahon looked worse.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's
Oh
all that
no, he
time. Like
did.
nobody.
He
This was
did.
like right when he was first like debuting the move, because he used to just like do the kick and then he would slowly do it and then just drop. But now he implemented like the hard kick to the midsection and then just dropped them quick. And I don't think McMahon knew what to
Oh
expect.
wait, no. You're talking about the JR stunner that he took and Austin accidentally kicked him in the balls instead of the gut. I know the one you're talking about.
That's okay. That's
He
why
kicked him. Yeah, he kicked him in the balls on accident.
that would explain why he was acting like he was having a fucking seizure.
Yeah, no, Austin's talked about that one where he accidentally kicks him. Like he goes, now, normally when I deliver the stunner, I deliver it and it is a. Hold on. Oh shit, no brother. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Maybe. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Sorry. I was trying to take that shadow out of my face. This is a professional podcast, guys.
Semi-professional.
Completely amateur.
Award-winning though. We don't
Yes.
know what award yet, but I mean it's award.
We won one somewhere.
You got one somewhere. They just haven't notified us yet.
But yeah, no, he was talking about it. He goes, now normally when I place that kick, I place it right around the belt line. He said, but for some reason this day when I went to deliver that kick, oh, it was the shorts that he had on. He had on those blue jean shorts. He said,
Oh yeah, he couldn't
those
get his
shorts were
leg
so
up.
tight I couldn't get my leg up all the way and ended up kicking JR right in the balls.
Oh fucking A. Gotta love it.
So that explains why JR sold that one terribly. He got kicked in the nuts beforehand.
That's why he looked like he was having a damn seizure laying on the ground because he writhed in pain.
I would have looked like a goddamn dead fish.
Flopping around like, oh, fucking
Shit, I wouldn't have been flopping. I would have just been, oh my god.
Oh, Jesus. So many good moments. Oh, shit.
Again, this is why Puppet is full of useless wrestling knowledge.
He knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two.
I've watched, I don't know how many like shoot interviews or behind the scenes interviews or just random podcasts that people are on that I enjoy watching.
Right.
Where they're talking about this stuff, and I'm just like, yes, please. Give me that. I think my favorite one still is Edge talking about the Rumble where Batista and Cena eliminate each other on accident.
Yeah, Vince
And
comes running
McMahon
out,
blows
slides
both
in,
quads.
blows both quads getting into the ring.
You see this pompadour just power walk. Now Vince has a power walk,
Right.
but this time it was like an extra power walk. The only thing I was thinking is, "Ooh, I'm getting backstage and getting out of here."
Comes running out there and slides in the ring and tears both quads and just flops around for a second and then slides over against the current turnbuckle.
So like Edge is making it back into the gorilla position from being eliminated, right?
Yeah.
And he looks over at the monitor and he goes, my first thought is I see Vince sitting in the corner barking out orders going, something ain't right. Oh, this ain't good. You know when one of your superstars looks and goes, oh, this ain't good. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get my stuff and get on out of here.
Right. Like, what the fuck? Why is he sitting down? What did he do? Did he blow both of his quads out?
Why is he sitting down like this?
Right.
This is something right here.
Did he blow his quads out? I think he did. Oh,
Yeah, okay.
shit.
No, that's still too goddamn bright. All right.
Playing with your settings again.
I got a ring light over here now.
Yeah.
I got a ring light and everything. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, chat. Puppet is on his new streaming setup too. His new everything set up. He got his desk. He got a stream deck finally. He got a new mic.
Exfil.
31's in the back, running his mouth.
Yeah. Everyone here's 31. He's successfully exfilled on zombies this time, guys.
Took him long enough.
Zombies outbreak, except for me. I can't exfil in solo.
Mhm.
And I'm the first person shooter of the house.
Play COD anymore. I grew.
Man. Dude, I'm telling you, zombies outbreak you would love.
I'm not a big shooter fan, but I like zombies.
Zombies is just fun in general. All that shit talking lobby, like toxic lobbies, is eliminated in zombies. You're just in.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress. Let's get off the COD
Scott
and
Hall.
gaming and back to Scott Hall going into orbit.
Come in, stunner, oversell, launches
God.
himself into fucking space, comes down, lands like a dead horse.
Like Hall's sell on that. Okay. Now, backstory to this. Scott Hall is kind of having his relapse at this point in time. Scott Hall probably shouldn't have been out there to begin with.
Right.
But this sale of this stunner is right up there with Shawn Michaels' entire sale of SummerSlam match with Hogan. All right, so we come out of 18, we roll through. Austin kind of takes the ball, goes home. I believe this is around the time. No, it's not.
19?
It was after 19 yet.
The retirement match was at
19 was the retirement match that people didn't know was actually going to be the last match. So yeah, Austin went home after 18, after 18, because that's going to be the whole Brock Lesnar fiasco. I'm pretty sure. And then he comes back for that one more match with Rock.
right. Comes back for the retirement match against The Rock, loses and retires.
Yeah.
And by this time, Austin's already beat the holy hell up. His ass is his spine's pretty much compressed from all the stunners he's given everybody over the years.
Oh,
His knees have given out.
You know what? We need to back up some.
Where?
We didn't even mention the whole Austin Intercontinental Championship rivalry with Owens with Owen Hart that causes the temporarily paralysis in the ring.
Yeah. When Owen flipped him over for that inverted pile driver, but
Yeah, that botched pile driver.
didn't know that Austin had slid too far down, but went through with it anyway.
Yeah. And which led to the best roll up in history.
Right.
I.e., Owen Hart rolled himself up into a schoolboy for Austin to win.
Right. Right, because Austin's neck was broke and still continued the match.
Yeah. Well, so okay, his head ended up too low. Owen Hart essentially just spiked Austin's head. Austin lost all use of legs and arms.
Yeah.
He's laying there telling Earl, "Hey, tell Owen we got to go to the finish. Something's wrong." Owen is off, kind of distracting the crowd from Austin just laying on the damn mat, not moving.
Right.
And then Earl finally gets Owen's attention, says, "Go home." And Owen goes, no. And then Austin goes, I'm hurt. Go home. And he rolls himself over Austin for the worst schoolboy ever.
Right.
Now, I say worst schoolboy ever. I'm not saying that in a rude way, given the circumstances. Like, Austin literally barely had any motion back in his arms.
Right.
And, like, you see Austin's arm just kind of following about that far from Owen as Owen rolls himself up, and then Austin's
Right.
arm catches up with it.
Right.
Austin had good rivalries with both Brett and Owen, honestly. But again, that kind of goes back to the whole Bret Hart is a master in the ring. Owen, had the Owen Hart tragedy not happened, I honestly believe Owen outshined Brett in the long run.
Yeah. Because Owen had
It-
he had that career.
and not only that, but Brett's also went on record saying Owen was much better
Yeah.
than he ever could have imagined he would be, and he was great. But of course, tragically, Owen Hart's career did get cut very short due to
Technical malfunction when he
due
was
to
riding.
yeah due to malfunctions in harness and stuff.
Right.
Which has led to many years of Owen not being recognized, not being able to be recognized the way that Owen Hart deserves to be recognized.
Right.
I'm not going to interject my thoughts on that because I can't imagine. I can't imagine what Owen's family had to go through getting that phone call. This is what happened, and then hiring their own private investigators and finding out all that they found. Do I think, okay, my personal opinion, I think that there should be something worked out between Martha and the WWE
Yeah.
for WWE to induct Owen into the Hall of Fame,
Right.
and there be a shirt, like an Owen Hart Hall of Fame shirt, like they do for everyone that goes into the Hall of Fame, but all the proceeds go to the Owen Hart Foundation.
Right.
Like, I don't think WWE should. Now, I wholeheartedly agree with Martha. WWE should not make any money off Owen Hart's name.
Exactly. Which doesn't make sense
Because
because they still have his matches and stuff on the network, and they're still making money.
they get no money off those.
Okay.
They get money off the events that he was in, but specifically the matches, no.
Right.
In fact, I don't think anyone that gets a royalty check off that stuff, if there's a pay per view that Owen Hart is in, I don't think anyone that's featured in that pay per view gets a royalty check.
Yeah. There's a few.
Now, I don't know about that. But do I think that there should be some way that things can be worked out to where Owen can be properly inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Yes.
There needs to
Um,
be. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He had a
not
great career.
not as, so WWE can make money off of it. Again, if they induct him, there should be, when his shirt specifically, or any of the shirts from the Hall of Fame that have his name on it, all of those proceeds should go directly to the Owen Hart Foundation that was set up in memory of him by the family.
Right.
But there needs to be that ability to potentially have a closure, and also to give the wrestling fans that that moment to let let Owen be recognized for what he did,
Right.
and B, for the fans to acknowledge the family the way that the family should be acknowledged. Um, again, that's my personal take on that one.
Agreed. Like he needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
He had one hell of a career, but I mean it's all on Stu and Martha and all of them.
I mean, you've got to look at it. Stu's in the Hall of Fame. Brett's in the Hall of Fame. Davey's in the Hall of Fame. Jim's in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
The whole family's in the Hall of Fame. Owen has a rightful spot to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Like, there's no denying Owen should not be in that Hall of Fame.
Right. Exactly.
Does that Hall of Fame mean anything? No. Not, per se, but Owen deserves to be in there.
Correct.
And again, wild tangent. We're on the topic of Steve Austin. Right now we're talking about Owen Hart.
Right.
When we cover the Bret Hart, I'm fairly certain when we do Bret, I'm pretty sure there's going to be another wild tangent where we talk about Owen again.
There will be.
And honestly, at some point, I would love to do an Owen Hart episode, because there's so many stories that you can find about him backstage and his
Pranks.
practical joke. Yeah.
Yeah, the pranks like he would pull on Mark Henry.
Yeah. He'd prank call us, or the ones where he would prank call his dad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But no, like, technically, to tie this back in to Austin, even though that happened, Austin and Owen ended up with a really close relationship, very similar to him and Pillman.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people may not know this. A lot of people may. The gold chain that you see Austin wearing all the time was actually a gift from Brian Pillman that was given to him when they were in the Hollywood Blondes. And who can forget about that damn episode of Raw that ends with JR? Oh my God, Brian Pillman has a gun. Pillman has a gun.
When Austin was sneaking around Pillman's house and breaking in, and yeah.
Like there's moments, like there's a bunch of moments where we've not really talked about, but that's because there's so many things that Austin was a part of in this Attitude Era, that if we took the time and really focused and deep dived on it, this would be a 4.5 hour episode. This would be two episodes altogether.
Yeah, we're going on 2.5 right now, so
yeah.
There's just so much to talk about with Stone Cold. He's had one hell of a career. And he didn't have that many WrestleMania moments and everything, but still,
and
like we discussed earlier before we started the podcast and everything. I mean, if we were just to touch on Stone Cold's WrestleMania moments, it would be like a 30-minute podcast.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now, transitioning into the latter part of his career, another memorable moment is that grocery store brawl with him and Booker T.
Right.
And you get to see like the more comedic side of Austin, because he knew in ring he was going to be very limited.
Right.
And you got to see the sheriff of Raw, and then when he was when he joined Vince in the corporate stuff with Triple H, and him vying for Vince's approval.
The cowboy hats.
The cowboy hat.
He buys Vince a cowboy hat, and then he buys
the Kumbaya.
He buys Kurt Angle the little
kids red, white, and blue cowboy hat.
Angle wears it with pride. Speaking of Austin and Vince, we forgot to touch on one more little feud that they had. when Vince was in the hospital
Oh, the
and
bedpan.
and he was talking about something, and it's like and the nurse is like, "Doc, do you need any help?" And then you hear the doctor go, "No, I'll take it from here, nurse." And then Vince is like, "Wait a minute, that voice." And then Austin just starts beating the holy hell out of him, and just whops him in the head with the fucking
Yeah, no,
bedpan.
before he does, you hear Vince say, "Nurse, nurse," and then Austin jumps him, and then in the middle of all that, you just see this bedpan come flying into the screen. Wing!
Wing. Oh damn.
But like, there again, like, there's so many moments with Austin. Austin didn't need, like, okay, Taker has an uncountable amount of WrestleMania moments.
Right.
Austin legitimately has 4 WrestleMania moments.
Yeah.
5 if you want to count Scott Hall going into orbit.
Right.
4 legitimate WrestleMania moments.
Yeah.
But his career is just moment after moment.
Yeah. Because we're not even going to touch base on WrestleMania 7 with him versus Savio Vega.
Yeah, that was an amazing match. They stole the show with that match.
Yeah. Well, you've got Austin versus Hart, Michaels, Rock. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Those are his biggest feuds that he's had.
The double turn, the championship win, regaining it from Rock,
Right.
turning on Rock to get the title, and then Rock beating him.
Right.
But yeah, like it's like I was saying, there's just like so many different moments that while yeah, he doesn't have a lot of mania moments,
Yeah.
he does have moments.
Right.
Like he is his own moment.
Correct.
Like he is Attitude Era personified.
Correct.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything else.
See,
We transition into the comedy stuff, the less wrestling. Oh yes, there is. And then once he retires, he kind of takes off and he gets some decent movie roles, has some pretty good movies, transitions into getting his own TV shows,
Right.
and as well as I know his own very own podcast, and then working deals, and he has the Broken Skull sessions on. Is it? Yeah, it's Stone Cold's Broken Skull sessions.
Yeah.
On the network. Like, I mean,
Broken Skull Ranch that he has now sold and fucking moved to Arizona.
no, Kelly.
Oh, he had, because he was traveling from L.A. to West Texas, where the Broken Skull Ranch was, every weekend.
Mhm.
And he said that was too taxing on him and the wife whenever they had to make the.
Oh
trip
yeah,
and the
no, yeah,
cost.
yeah.
So
They got
he-
rid of that one.
he
They got
sold
rid
the
of that
Broken
and
Skull
started one
Ranch
in Nevada.
in Nevada because it was closer to California.
Yeah,
Because that's where his brother-in-law lives, is in Nevada.
yeah.
His brother-in-law had property, and I think Austin bought it, or
Bought
they're
it.
working it together.
Yeah, I think he ended up buying it.
Yeah. So he's starting a new ranch out there.
But I mean, what more can you say about Stone Cold Steve Austin?
The guy had an illustrious career.
For the short amount of time. Well, okay. I say short amount of time. The career was from like the late 80s all the way up until the early 2000s.
Right.
So I mean, it wasn't that short of a time.
Right.
But when you stop and you look at it, let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 movie roles. 11 television appearances, or television spots.
Right.
Championship and acknowledged accomplishments. He has the Iron Mike Mazurki Award from the Cauliflower Alley Club in 2012. He is a Guinness World Records holder. He has the world record for the most wins of the WWE Royal Rumble with 3. Illustrated Feud of the Year 98 and 99 versus with McMahon. Match of the Year 1997 versus Bret Hart, WrestleMania 13. Again, there's WrestleMania moment. Most hated wrestler of the year in 2001. Most popular wrestler of the year in 1998. Rookie of the year 1990. Wrestler of the year 98, 99, and 2001.
Most annoying catchphrase. What? Most
Ranked,
awesome catchphrase, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
he was ranked number 1 in PWI in the PWI 500, 98 and 99. So 2 years straight there.
Yep.
And he was ranked 19 in 2003. Number 50 of the top tag team, 100 top tag teams for PWI with Brian Pillman in 2003.
Right.
The Stanley Weston Award in 2019. He was Hall of Fame class of 2016. He held the WCW World Television Championship 2 times, the United States Heavyweight Championship 2 times, WCW World Tag Championships with Brian Pillman 1 time, as well as the NWA World Tag Team Championships with Brian Pillman.
Right.
Then we get into the WWF or WWE. The WWF Championships 6 times, Intercontinental Championship twice, 4-time tag team championships, 1 with Michaels, Dude Love, 1 with Dude Love, 1 with Undertaker,
Right.
1 with Triple H. He was the $1 Million champion, the 96 King of the Ring, the 97, 98, and 2001 Royal Rumble winner. He was the undisputed WWF champion. Or he won the number 1 contenders tournament.
Yeah.
He was the 5th Triple Crown. 2-time Slammy Awards. He won the Freedom of Speech in 97 and Best WWE Network Show in 2015 for the Stone Cold Podcast.
Yep. The funny thing about the Stone Cold Podcast is that dude was busy when it came to that because not only did he do...
He was doing his podcast, the Broken Skull Challenge.
No, he was doing 2 podcasts. He was doing the Steve Austin show and censored and uncensored.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. He was doing his podcasts.
Yeah.
He was doing the Broken Skull Challenge. He had several things going at one time. He was part of the Hall of Fame, the WWF Hall of Fame in 2009. And then we get into the Wrestling Observer newsletter, which we are not going to mention the name.
Brian Metzer.
No, not the name. Okay. But he was the best box office draw 98-99, best brawler in 2001, best gimmick in 97-98, best heel in 96, best on the interviews 96, 97, 98, and 2001. Best non-wrestler in 2003. Feud of the year against the Hart Foundation in 2000. In 97. Feud of the year with McMahon 98-99. Match of the year with Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13. Most charismatic 97-98. Rookie of the year in 1990. Tag team of the year 1993 with Brian Pillman as the Hollywood Blondes. Worst worked match of the year in 91 with Terrence Taylor and Bobby Eaton versus Bobby Eaton and PN News. Scaffold match, Great American Bash. Wrestler of the Year, 1998. Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame Class of 2000. You cannot list a more distinguished list
Right.
of championships and credentials for what a lot of people would consider a fairly short career for the time. But the consecutive runs where it was either match of the year, feud of the year, he was back to back ranked number one in the PWI 500. That is hard to do, and there's very few that's done it.
Right.
I really don't know what else there is to say about a man other than, yeah, he set the wrestling world on fire in 97, 98, 99, 2000.
Yeah.
He is he is a legend. He is on several people's Mount Rushmores. Like I said earlier, would I say that his name is more synonymous than Hulk Hogan's? Not more, but he is right there with him.
Right.
And I guess really the only way that you would end up closing this out is, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold really did say so.
Exactly.
So on today, March 16th, 2021.
Stone
It
Cold
is
Day.
it is one of my favorite days and one of my favorite podcast episodes to actually do, besides last week's me going off on my wild tangents. This is officially the Sap Wrestling podcast. I'm Puppet. The man over here
617.
is my co-host, and we bring you Stone Cold Steve Austin on Stone Cold Day. With that, I'm gonna hand the mic over to the man and let him do his outro bit, and then we will come and wrap this son of a bitch up.
Like Puppet said, I am one of your hosts for the Sap Wrestling Review. I am 617, as spelled down below, SIXONESEV3N. You can catch me on Twitch. You can catch me on Glimish.tv, a new platform. Probably one day this week. Maybe. I don't know. It's still up in the air. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. I got some of my clips up there. That's where you can catch me. Kicking on over to the man to my left over here. Man who is currently carving a 316 in his can.
Yeah, trying to straighten a rubber band. Fuck it. All right, as Six said.
Priorities before the outro, chat.
Yeah. As Six said, I'm the other co-host of Sap Wrestling podcast. Speaking of which, remember, we dropped the review part.
Sap Wrestling. Sometimes we review, sometimes we don't. Hard.
I'm your other host. My name is Puppet Master 2191. You can find me over at twitch.tv/PuppetMaster2191. You can find me at Glimish.tv/PuppetMaster. You can find me on Twitter. Just leave off the last one. And you can find me on YouTube.
You can find him on Rogue too.
Yes, I'm also Rogue.
using code Puppet Master.
Rogue Energy. Puppet Master at checkout, 10% off. And favorite part of this entire thing, if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please click the like button down here. subscribed, and turn on the notification bell to let you know when we've posted a new episode. And like always, leave us a comment, feedback, something you would like to see us cover, something you don't agree with us on. I'm cool with that. Let's talk wrestling. I'll talk it all day long.
Yep.
That being said,
If it's a
I'm
big
gonna pass
discussion
it.
that you want to get on, hell, we may even bring you on the show with us to discuss.
Yes, I'm very open to it.
And Dave Meltzer, if you're out there, we'd
You
like
can
to
eat a
have you.
dick.
We'd like to have you on the show.
You
Be a-
can eat a dick.
It'll be a 5-minute podcast with Puppet ranting and raving about him, and then we'll just end it. But we're gonna post that motherfucker too.
I will tear him an asshole, play a sound clip of glass shattering, and cut him the fuck off. That's what will happen.
And on that note, chat, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, we will catch you in the next video. Peace.
Peace.